this is one, and every now and then, part of my channel where I'm going to talk about my influences, the people that actually got me interested in doing collage art in the first place, and some of the people who still keep me going with something like that. So for the first one, I'm going to do what is the main person that got me interested in this was, and the backstory of this is during the early 90s, I got into alternative music, and I've talked about my getting into collage, but it was through that because before then I was quite a metalhead and still am. But I started to listen to a lot more alternative music, and Alternative Tentacles Records put out a compilation album of bands that are on their label or friends of theirs who doing cover versions of the band that started off the label, the band called the Dead Kennedys. And it was through that then I discovered listening to that band, and they became one of my favourite bands. I have the logo tattooed on my leg, and one of the main things that struck me was, as well as the music, what went with it was the not just because before that band, cover artwork was just, yeah, I may have some good cover artwork, I may have some lousy cover artwork, but it was just something that went on the cover. This with hardcore, with them in particular, and hardcore punk in general, you would have some bands like I'm talking about here, the Dead Kennedys, but also with their work mostly by a guy called, the person I'm going to talk about today, called Winston Smith. But and then and Black Flag's work with Raymond Pettibone, Crass's work with actually an actual member of their collective called G Vorcha. It was a case of the album wasn't just the cover wasn't just the thing that you put on the cover of the artwork, wasn't just what you put on the cover out of the album. It was actually an integral part of the message of that record in a lot of cases with hardcore punk. And it was no more so than with three bands in particular: the Dead Kennedys, Crass, and Black Flag. I won't be talking so much about Raymond Pettibone because I'm talking about Collage, but his work was all throughout their flyers, most of their albums, and it really had an influence on that scene and how these records were perceived and consumed and appreciated. So with Winston Smith, I'm not going to bring out any of my Dead Kennedys records because I listen to most of that on streaming now on YouTube. So my record's a bit buried away, and you can find the examples of these online as well. But I'm going to go through his 3 books that he put out that I have. I have all of them. Fortunately, varying states of quality because that one, the cat's got at that one. But so here you have his first book, Act Like Nothing's Wrong, and as you see on here, you can see that one of the pieces he's most famous for that gets used a lot. This was used on the cover of directly on the cover of Dead Kennedy's In God We Trust Incorporated EP, because a lot of his work he did with them, they would have these amazing fold out. This is another reason why I can't show you on here, because they're just so big. It was like from their first album, Fresh Fruit Running Vegetables. You pull it out, and it's like, I can't remember if it was 4 or 6 folds of the 12-inch album, and it was huge. And what he put together with Jello Biafra, I mean, for their second album, Plastic Surgery Disasters, basically him and Biafra just sat up one night apparently and just put this whole thing together. Basically, his sets of collages that would coincide with the meanings of each song on the album. This is what I mean about them being integral to how these are appreciated. And in God We Trust Incorporated had this as their cover, which was the bowling trophy Jesus glued onto a cross made out of money. This is actually a 3D piece. I've seen the actual thing, and it was basically, so it's not just a flat. Most of his work, like most collage artists, will be a flat thing that goes in a frame. This is actually a 3D assembled piece. I've seen him holding it up. I can't remember if here it is. This is him holding it on the back cover, and So this was also always a very famous piece. Again, this has probably been tattooed quite a lot. Like I can't show you my leg right now because my camera is clipped up to the top. But so that gets tattooed a lot. And Biafra's brief, Jello Biafra's brief, the singer for the Dead Kennedys, for the logo was it had to be something simple and easy to be graffitied. So that's why I can't remember. I don't know if it's actually in this particular copy of the book. I had it. I met him when he was putting his third book. He did an exhibition in London, which he actually I didn't just find out about it. He actually invited me to, which was very nice. So I got all this signed, and look at this. This is all great. This is where I get. He is the person my work gets compared to the most, hands down. And there are some similarities because we have some of the same thing of the way we subvert reality with something like that. This was a major influence on me. I've done similar stuff to this. Again, this was on the back of the on the back of the In God We Incorporated, in God We Trust Incorporated. And again, that's what we like to do some of the same things where you've got all the what's so-called decent America, and looking outside you've got Klan people, and it shows it could actually be seen as also the fact that some of the people in organisations like the Klan were so-called decent America. And one of the things I like to do that he likes to do is that we like similar to do, and this is with a lot of agitprop type artwork, is we lift the curtain, we lift the veil, we rearrange reality to expose the truth, and sometimes just to be damn weird. So this is one that was used in that Dead Kennedys booklet. Here we go. That's what I've got on my leg. And he also designed the Alternate Tentacles logo because, as Biafra said, he's very good at drawing. Although he says he doesn't like people to really realise that. I think he likes to he likes to be known for his collage. Now, business as usual. I totally forgot about that piece, but I came up with something similar, which was Circle of Trust, which is people stabbing each other in the back. This is a common thing with artists because with the Dead Kennedys Frankenchrist album, they used a painting by H.R. Geiger, which was called Penis Landscape, which was a load of rotting penises going into rotting anuses. I won't show that obviously for YouTube reasons, but you can find that online, and that was Biafra. In Biafra's mind, that's business all over. So I mean, some of these are great. I mean, these are some of his older pieces, where he was just maybe almost trying to find his way, and I felt the same there. Again, here one of these ones just to be damn weird. Again, great artwork here, Fetal Attraction, and some of these have actually been used on stuff that's not as famous. That's been used on a punk record. I can't remember it was. I think it might actually be in this book when you see it. I can't remember if he goes into some of his where his work's been used. But as you can see here, his later work, it's become a lot more complex. And what the kind of material he tends to use, which I do sometimes as well when I can get it, is a lot of old artwork, where you'd have a lot of vintage adverts and and so forth from people such as old National Geographics, old general mechanics, popular mechanics. That's it. And some of these are just because they are very. These are pieces of these are illustrations that are really good to work with. They're very visually stunning, and you can do a lot with them. And this is also the kind of almost American lie, or in my case, UK lie, where they try and where they do lie to themselves. Here we've got some sideways. Yeah, I mean I've seen this on a cover piece of artwork. This was used on the cover for Jello Biafra's album with DOA. And again, his work is it's got such a great, weird and wacky sense of humour that I tend to share myself. I feel my humour is quite twisted. He's used this painting as a base quite a lot, the same way I do with the with this I think it's Raphael painting of the Madonna with Jesus and St. John the Baptist. It's called Madonna Abrogada. I will sometimes at one point do one of the painting I can't leave alone. But these are all such. I mean, you can see why this guy was such an influence on me. I mean, these books are great. Unfortunately, I believe these books might be out of print now, which is an absolute shame, because I love this artwork, and a lot of people should. More people. I mean, this is another piece of his that's iconic, and it's one of these ones where I really wish I'd come up with. And one of these things, great ideas you come up with in your youth. This is one that I've used for a piece, so I changed the head. I put countries in there, and this was one called I can't remember what I called it now. It's terrible. But it's so yeah, and I got rid of that piece of text. So yeah, he's great. Yeah. This artwork is amazing. It was just published by a company called Last Gasp, so you could have a look to see if they are out of print, or if they need, or if maybe try and talk them into reprinting them again. He does have a website, which I will link in the show notes, www.winstonsmith.com, and he still does a lot of things like exhibitions now these days still, and he has a lot of a lot of collections of what he's done with this particular painting. And just visually, the way he does things, sometimes it's very can be very complex, but sometimes it's very some people might just dismiss it as weird, but they all have some kind. A lot of them, even the really weird ones, have some kind of meaning, and it's very easy to pick these things apart. This particular piece, obviously, it's very in your face political, in the fact that it shows the companies that are behind warfare. He was actually going to be doing, from what I heard, he was going to do this for like a poster for a Rage Against the Machine concert, but found out when he was going to do it, realised a lot of some of these companies are actually no longer in existence. So he actually and I think he ended up redoing it with more modern companies, which is a shame that this is still the case. But I remember when I met him, having a conversation with him about this particular control TV controller, because he was a bit older than the Punk Norm anyway, and they're older than me. So, and he was telling me, I remember him having a TV that had this kind of big click, click, click. So those are the old days. So, but these are all great, lovely artwork. I mean, some people will just have these you can enjoy these just for the general absurdity of it. But here's a Dead Kennedys album cover, and this folded out into a gatefold. So, and this is one that he did for Green Day, the God Told Me to Skin You Alive, which is the name of a Dead Kennedys song. So he was very tied in with that band. And these are some of the things he used for the plastic surgery disasters. Plastic surgery disasters gatefold booklet. Here's some of the things he's done for. This is mostly Dead Kennedys and Alternative Tentacles stuff. So that was probably one of the first Dead Kennedys albums I bought. I had this booklet that was put together with other artists. So you had people like another influence of mine, John Yates, had an input on that as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the first album, which is Dead Kennedys' first album, which is Fresh Fruit from Vegetables, because he didn't do the front cover for that, but he contributed a little to the he gave some pieces of artwork for Jelly Biafra, and Jelly Biafra assembled that massive piece. But he had his own saying on that, and Biafra is very good at coming up with these kind of a piece of artwork as well. So, and here we go. Like I said, the one with DOA, front and back. I have that record as well. I have the Green Day one. I bought it purely the Green Day one because they're all right, but I bought it purely for the fact that it's got it had his artwork. And same with the One Hit Wonder record as well. That Warzone one, this is his drawing as well, which he said, I drew this after a dream of this image. Again, more of these, and this is all great. This shows how this artwork works really well on record covers. So yeah, check out his artwork. I'm going to be talking about more of my influences, and those of you who do know my artwork quite well, you can obviously see where the influence is, even if it's just so much in part of this is the man himself. Even if it is just in the kind of source material we both use, and check out his work. And if you're lucky to live anywhere near where he does any exhibitions, check out and see him, because see him, speak to him. He's a very nice man. Always happy to talk about his artwork. And as always with this, like, share, and subscribe. And I shall see you next time I do one of these. And check out all the other playlists on my channel, my collage of the week, and my process videos. Even if it's just even some of them are just you watching me make something on Freemix, which I've been using a fair bit. It just shows you an idea of how I select things and how things almost how my visually shows how my mind might work with how I put things together. So I shall see you next video. Thank you.